Sonic Mania. Considered an amazing game, isn't it? Well, apparently not even Sonic Mania is safe from this fanbase's opinions, being the Sonic fanbase's opinions, changing every 5 seconds. With me recently getting Sonic Mania, I thought it would be a great time to cover Sonic Mania rip-offs, or should I call them spin-offs? Because today we'll be looking at one that I think is good. Welcome, this is the Historical Gamer, and get ready for another episode of Scratch Review, this time on Sonic Frenzy 2. Let's jump in to the first section. First of all, we are covering this game's aesthetic. Unfortunately, but also fortunately, this game's aesthetic is mostly reused in levels. It uses sprites from Sonic 2, 3, and Mania, but mostly Sonic Mania. This means that it uses pixel art, not vectors, and obviously not 3D models, because no matter how absolutely amazing Turbo Warp is, this is still Scratch. Though the pixel art looks great, and same with the animation. Obviously, it's very smooth, coming from Sonic Mania. I thought the fact that it mixes and matches sprites from the 3 listed games, being Sonic 2, 3, and Mania, would be a problem, but it actually ends up looking quite good. Though I do have just a couple of nitpicks, and these really are nitpicks. The scrolling is a bit off to me, and the jumps look relatively flat. The rings, since of how 3D they look very out of place as well. But on the bright side, the menus are completely new and completely amazing. The menus are nice, bright and colourful. For some reason, it is extremely well animated and quite smooth. They also give a new font for the title screen, and for some reason, I just love it. Also, the really cool pixel art of a Sega Genesis controller, or Mega Drive if you're anywhere but the US. I love the menus. I don't really have a reason. On to the next section. Just like the aesthetic is all recycled from the classics, so is the music. Apart from the menus, where the music is as usual still great. All zones in this game that are ripped from Mania have that music track, and all that aren't have theirs ripped straight from the classics. The music is good, but I would appreciate remixes. That really is above and beyond. The gameplay is mostly the classic gameplay present in the Mega Drive games as well as Sonic CD, and the game is mostly based on Sonic Mania, just like everything else. You probably already know how the classic Sonic formula works, so skip quite a bit ahead. If you do. If not, stick around, because I'm about to explain it in summary. You head towards the goal, which is usually on the right side of the screen, while trying to pick up and maintain momentum using terrain, specifically slopes. It takes place on a 2D plane. Now Sonic needs to use his ball form to help with momentum. As well as this, you go into your ball form when jumping, another one of your tools that you use to navigate levels, as this is a platformer after all. Your ball form lets you damage enemies with Sonic spikes, or quills, and also changes Sonic's physics slightly. At the end of levels, there is a boss, or mini-boss which you have to fight. And within the levels, there are lots of collectibles that all help you, such as shields in monitors, extra lives, also in monitors, and rings, which can help you enter special stages and make you not die if you get hit. And along with an amazing design philosophy and simple controls. Of course you have running and jumping and going into your ball form, as well as the spin dash to pick up speed, and in some games the super peel out, insta shield and drop dash. And in summary, the level design is 3 rows all on top of each other that constantly intersect. Each layer, as you go up, gets faster to go on, but harder to stay on. Now in Sonic Frenzy 2, most of that is there, apart from the fact that while the level scrolls sideways, up and down, it doesn't use the up and down part, meaning it loses some of the 3-row level design. A lot of stages have segments of the blocky platforming seen in colours, but most of the levels use the 2-row philosophy found in Sonic 2. The thing is, the blocky platforming segments often have a way to skip them, so in that it's like SA1, Sonic Adventure 1. This means the levels are incredibly replayable. Its only real downside is the lack of monitors and unique obstacles. Even this though is made up for with the Chaos Emeralds, still giving you something to search for, as well as the multiple playable characters to add that variety the shields provided. Now, let's talk about controls and moveset. Starting with the moveset that all characters have. There's running, obviously, which handles like a mix of Sonic 1, specifically because of the speed cap, and Sonic Heroes, except with slightly faster stopping time. Then there is the jump. It's completely normal. Except Badnik bouncing, which is less powerful than normal, though still has some utility. Now, the spin dash, it works okay, and it even doubles up as the roll. Even the spin dash jump works well. The only problems are the spin dash is stupidly slow, and also with a lack of momentum-based obstacles, the spin dash isn't very good as a spin dash and kind of subpar as a spin dash jump. It requires you to be quite close to stopping, so it works absolutely horrible as a roll. Now, let's talk about character-specific moves. Starting with the power type, Mighty, and his ability, the ground pound. I believe this to be the weakest ability. Reason being that there is nothing to break and it cannot be combined with hard shell to give you immunity to spikes. Its only real good quirk being that it has a small bounce if you hold it, though the bounce is so small it's not really that useful. So, not particularly good. Then there is the baffling decision not to just include Knuckles. I think this was done because of 2 reasons. One, it ties it closer to Mania, as it was released around the same time as Mania's released. As well as Knuckles would be too similar to Tails, having a glide. This is because what I call the scratch wall jump, which essentially just lets you infinitely wall jump off of one wall, would make his climb kind of useless. Though I still think Knuckles would have been better than Mighty. Next, onto the flight type, Tails. He is his usual easy mode, and he has the ability to fly. This works like normal, and it works well as what it is, an easy mode.
but it isn't very satisfying to use. Now finally, the speed type. Sonic, the absolute, by a country mile, best of the playable characters. His ability is a drop dash. In everything the spin dash fails, the drop dash succeeds. And it ignores the speed cap, meaning chaining them together is great. So overall, in isolation, the gameplay is great. Apart from the mobile controls, those are absolutely unplayable. Now, on to the next section. For the content, the game is very short, containing 7 stages, one for each Chaos Emerald, one of which being just a boss fight versus Fang, and another being a strange, auto-scrolling, playing minigame based off of Sky Chase that removes all control of Sonic and only lets you control the plane, Mirage Saloon. So, apart from that obvious flaw of Mirage Saloon, I believe the game has a good amount of content for multiple reasons. First of all, the Chaos Emeralds, which can be hidden a bit cheaply, but I still think they are good content, as well as the Easter eggs, like finding Big the Cat in Emerald Hill. Also, the multiple playable characters. Apart from Mystic Cave, the bosses, which are nothing special, are satisfying to master and be able to complete fast in themselves. Let's take a brief look at the actual level design. Apart from a downgraded, but still relatively good, classic Sonic level design, all the platforming that I mentioned earlier can be got through really smoothly with the scratch wall jump and mastery of the drop dash. The exact thing that Colors gets criticised for not doing. This is best seen as Stardust Speedway. It also ends up being quite fun speedrunning, though the lack of a score meter means no score attack, and the speedruns aren't amazing, they're just good. Apart from Mirage Saloon, the only other bad thing is the fact that your reward for getting all the Chaos Emeralds is just the ability to swap characters whenever you want. It isn't worth the effort, but collecting the Chaos Emeralds in itself is fun. So that is how the content almost perfectly complements the gameplay. Next section. There are a lot, but they are practically all skin mods. I recommend Cooler Sonic Frenzy 2, as well as Team Dark in Sonic Frenzy 2. Next. While I do acknowledge the game has its faults, and is certainly not as good as Sonic Mania, like I used to think it was, I firmly believe it is the best Sonic experience on Scratch. 5 out of 5. This was the Historical Gamer, and remember to like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you like multiple. Please give me feedback, as this video took a long time to make, and I'll make sure to read it and use it to better my videos. Again, this was the Historical Gamer, and goodbye.